I don't really have a topic for this video, but I thought I would put up a video of me riding this Suzuki SV650 and probably just talk about how it runs compared to the 250 that I used to have. One thing obviously is the power. That's one of the things that takes a moment to get used to. I've ridden a Kawasaki ZX-10 before, which has a lot more power than the 250, but that was only one ride. You know, since I've been riding the 650, getting used to the amount of torque on the back wheel is something that takes a little bit of time, because on occasion I've spun out the back wheel when attempting to accelerate. I'm a lightweight, so it's easy to do that even on a 650. This is a V-twin, which as I understand means that compared to you know, the CBRs and the ZXR6s, this has a little less power, and so that's perfectly fine for me. I don't race or get up to very high speeds, so it doesn't really matter to me. But I've been pleased with how this runs. It's very strong at high speeds. I've on a few occasions been up over 100 miles per hour, and the bike runs very strong at that speed. Anytime I would get my 250 up above 80, it would be okay, but it kind of just seemed like, you know, I was feeling a lot of vibration from the front, basically through the handlebars, and I don't really feel that here, even at higher speeds. Very strong. I'm getting used to it all the time. It's got an electronic fuel or electronic speedometer, and I kind of like that as a touch. It's a good bike. I mean, I think it's worth the money. It costs a little less than the CBRs and the ZXR6s. I like the fairing, the full faired look, so that means the upper and the lower fairing. I kind of like that because it really does make it look like it's a sports bike. One thing that surprised me about this was when you look at where this is listed, you know, it's listed as like a standard bike as opposed to a sport bike, and because of that I get better insurance rates. But I mean, if you look at it, it looks like a sport bike. It rides like one, so I don't really see the difference. But I'm not mad about getting better insurance rates though. But otherwise, I mean, I like it. Fortunately, I got a motorcycle that's basically the same color as the one that I had originally, so I didn't really have to get new gear to match. I pretty much am able to use the same stuff. And when I purchased it, it came with, you know, a new helmet and, you know, motorcycle cover, battery charger, a few things that the guy was trying to get rid of. Also a mesh armored jacket. I was able to get along with it, so it turned out to be a pretty good deal. I haven't had any problems with it yet. I did the normal maintenance, you know, the oil change, you know, make sure that my tires were straight, and other than that, I mean, it's been great. I've only had it for about a month now, and I don't really have any complaints about it. Obviously this is a bigger motorcycle, so I had to get used to maneuvering a heavier bike, which is not that much difficult, but you know, just carrying the weight, even at, you know, standing at a stop, you know, being able to balance the weight, it's a little bit different, but nothing major. I've gotten used to it very quickly. The 250 I ended up selling to a gentleman who got his motorcycle license a year ago, but really didn't own a motorcycle in between time. So this was basically his first motorcycle, new experience for him. So I mean, I'm sure he'll get some enjoyment out of it. But I kind of felt like I was ready to move up. I had to splurge a little bit because I do have other expenses, but I was able to kind of supplement my costs by selling the 250. And so, you know, as it turned out, I ended up not spending that much out of my own pocket. I've seen a few videos on YouTube of people who have SV650s. You know, they tend to like them. And again, I don't really have anything to complain about. The riding angle on this is much different than the 250. 250 is more upright. The handlebars a little bit higher compared to the seating position, and as a result, it tends to ride a little bit more like a standard bike. The 250 does compared to this. This has much more of a forward lean, and it feels a lot more like a sport bike. Easier to get into a tough position on this, not just because of the forward lean, but also because the bike is larger, so there's more space to kind of maneuver around. And also, which I guess is similar to the 250, the parts for this are actually quite cheap. I was pleasantly surprised. You know, I was looking at trying to calculate about how much it would take me to maintain this motorcycle, and you know, it's not really that much more to maintain this than to maintain the 250. So to me, I think in the long run I'll be able to keep this for a few years, and then maybe once I kind of have a steady income, then I'll be able to get maybe, you know, more high-end bike, maybe a Busa or something like that. But for right now, I mean, this is great.